What do I mean by global transfer and transition? Well, transition to new ways and new ways of planning, managing, organising, operating and designing built environments. And also transition that's occurred, as some people have mentioned earlier, in terms of the awareness shift in global awareness towards acting on the need, and I stress the word acting there, on the need for more sustainable cities. And complementing this, obviously, is most and very important, well not most, but very important, transfer, which is about how we apply what we are learning, tools, methods, new ways to other settings, locally and globally. So I'm going to just outline a couple of areas of the globe we're working in at the moment, just to identify some of the things and challenges, and finish with a slide locally about some of the things we see needing to happen, I guess, in Melbourne to make some progress. The Middle East, very interesting amount of very rapid development going on. I'm sure people have come across. This probably might be referred to as the least sustainable place for people to be living. Obviously, we recognise that in Arup, and it's a continual sort of dilemma as to whether we work there and how do we sort of justify it. But interestingly, Dubai, one of their drivers, oil drying up, 77% of their GDP shifting to a new economic base, which is very much about being a global economic sort of centre and tourism. So they're starting to get the understanding that to succeed in that, they're going to have to provide a low carbon environment potentially to attract business if it's going to compete in a carbon constrained world. So we're doing a lot of work there. The scale of projects here is phenomenal. Arup in Melbourne is very involved in the infrastructure, the base infrastructure for these cities, and then they have plot developments so that developers come in, classic case, and develop particular buildings. But they're thinking now about sustainable energy strategies for the cities and introducing sustainable development codes. Next slide, please. In Dong Tan, similar scale of project, 840,000 hectare city, startup area of 630 hectares. So that the scale and I guess the rapidity of development is quite different to here. We have a very different challenge here where it's very piecemeal and small projects to make a big impact. But here, that creating these virtuous interactions has been really critical to the success of Dong Tan, where buildings, you get improved transport, zero emissions transport in the city, you get air quality improvements, you get health improvements, and you can have buildings now naturally ventilated. So these interactions are really important. Metabolic pathways and organs, just starting to show the city as a much more integrated, almost living system. Last slide, very quickly. I guess locally, very small sites, 55 hectares, current challenge, really achieving ESD opportunities, I guess within those scales and local limits, the size of developments and rates at which developments are occurring, the finance, political stakeholders, and getting integral design so you get these virtuous interactions.